Hello and welcome back to the third part of presentation on turn on and turn off methods of SCR, second unit of the subject Basic Power Electronics of Electronics Group. Myself Sanjit Kumar Singh, lecturer in Electronics and Telecommunication Department at Praveen Patil College of Diploma Engineering and Technology, Bandar East. So in this presentation, we will see the SCR triggering method using UJT or PUT relaxation oscillator pulses, synchronized UJT triggering circuit for firing a number of SCRs or power devices, pulse transformer and optocoupler for providing amplification of the pulses generated by the firing circuit, or for providing the isolation between the low power and the high power circuits. Optocoupler will be used. So let's see the first UJT relaxation oscillator used to trigger the SCR. So in this circuit, the base B1 pulse output is used to trigger the SCR at a predetermined value. So this is the predetermined value Vp. Whenever Vp is reached, UJT is turned on after the switch S is closed. So this supply will be available and the capacitor is charged, and when this capacitor voltage is exceeding the Vp value, then the capacitor discharges through R1. Now question may arise, why it is discharging only through R1, it could have gone through Rg. The reason is R1 value is lesser than the Rg value. Rg here it is 1 kilo ohm, whereas R1 will be few ohms, 47 ohms or like that. We can obtain negative pulses at base 2, but here base 1 provides the positive pulses and is favorable for the turning on of the SCR, which is forward biased with the same supply with a current limiting resistor or a load is connected, say here. So charging time is dependent upon R and C, whereas discharging time constant is dependent upon R1 and C. So during the discharging path, the triggering pulses are generated at base 1 and the SCR is turned on with the first pulse itself. The remaining pulses or subsequent pulses are just redundant, means they are of no use, has no effect on the SCR, as SCR is latched into on state. One drawback of this method is that there could be false triggering of this SCR when the off voltage of base 1 is greater than the voltage, minimum voltage required to turn on the SCR. So the off voltage should be less than the voltage Vg plus Ig into Rg. The second circuit, that is PUT relaxation oscillator, here the voltage pulses generated due to the discharging of the current capacitor through PUT through this resistor will turn on the SCR, this PUT, and a pulse is generated across this 47 ohm resistor here and can be given to gate and cathode of the SCR for turning on or for triggering. So in order to turn on this PUT, what happens? The anode voltage has to exceed this constant voltage Vg at least by a diode voltage, that is 0.3 to 0.7 volt. Then only it is turned on and it will be acting as closed switch. When this peak voltage is reached, that is eta times the supply voltage, then it is turned on. The time period of oscillation or pulse repetition is given by RC ln VVB by VVB minus VP, or it can be written in this manner, where N is the intrinsic standoff ratio that can be externally decided, unlike the UJT, by properly selecting the values of R1 and R2. R1 can be Rg by eta time here divided by eta, and R2 could be Rg by 1 minus eta. Now the synchronized UJT triggering. Synchronized UJT triggering is used when we have number of SCRs or GTOs connected to turn on the simultaneously or provide the synchronization. Here in this circuit, diode D1 to D4 forms a full bridge rectifier that is provided the single phase AC supply, and here we obtain pulsating DC. Now to bring down the voltage, there is a voltage drop resistor connected in series, and here Zener diode is connected to have a constant output across it that will be used for the RC of the UJT relaxation oscillator. Okay. So whenever capacitor is charged to a voltage, that will turn on the UJT and current will be running through the primary. As the magnitude of this current or discharging current will peak and thereafter it will decay, similarly there will be voltage induced in the secondary and thus provides the gating pulse for the SCRs connected to it. So in one half cycle, this is the rectified output obtained from the full bridge rectifier with a maximum peak Vm. It is limited to constant value Vz that is available to the RC, and if the charging and discharging is more than twice in one half cycle, it will produce two pulses or more here. So with the first pulse itself, the SCR is turned on. So second pulse is of no use. So here we can decide the instant or the time delay after the switch has been turned on, and this firing can be controlled up to about 150° with respect to the input, and the charging and discharging of the capacitor C along a straight line. This method of controlling of output by varying R is called ramp control, or also called open loop control or manual control. And since the Zener diode becomes 0, voltage across Zener diode becomes 0 at the end of each half cycle, so there is synchronization of the trigger voltage with the supply voltage is obtained, and thus pulses are applied to SCR at t is equal to alpha by omega in every half cycle. In case R is reduced such that Vc, the voltage across capacitor, reaches Vp, that is eta times the Zener diode voltage, twice in each half cycle, then two pulses are generated and the SCR is turned on with the first pulse itself, second pulse is redundant. Now the pulse transformer in firing circuits. What is the use of pulse transformer? Sometimes the pulse generated by a firing circuit may not be able to drive the gate cathode circuit of the SCR or the thyristor. So here we have pulse transformer to amplify that and provide isolation as well. So pulse transformer are used to couple pulse from the trigger circuit or pulse generator circuit to the SCR or GTO connected either in series or parallel or anti-parallel connection of the SCRs or GTOs here. Here the transformer is 1:1. It could be, or it could be 1:1:1, means the number of turns on the primary will be same as the secondary and the secondary, or it could be 2:1:1, means the number of primary turns will be double that of the two secondary. So generally 1:1:1 is used, and such transformers have high efficiency and low winding resistance, leakage reactance and lower interwinding capacitance, because these are the major source of losses, interwinding capacitance and leakage reactance. So a square pulse or rectangular pulse obtained from say a comparator here or from a flip-flop digital circuits will be used to turn on the transistor. The transistor here is acting as a switch, and whenever it is turned on, there will be a current from this load to the primary. There is a DF connected across this primary coil. This provides the path for the energy to dissipate when the T1 is in off state. When the transistor is in off state, the energy in inductor or the primary coil should be dissipated through it, will be decaying through the freewheeling diode here. So whenever current flows through this primary winding, there will be voltage induced in the secondary, and this voltage, in order to avoid the reverse current, there is a diode connected, and in series with it there is a resistor that will limit the current. And down here we see the diode, as I said, it prevents the reverse gate current in case of a ringing or reversal of the pulse transformer output voltage. Series resistor will reduce the holding current. So gate triggering pulse should not get affected due to any disturbance, fluctuation due to load changing in main circuit, and therefore isolation transformer is used to allow only positive pulse. So isolation transformer are directly used in the gate circuit. There could be 2 or 3 types of pulse transformer. Pulse transformer provides isolation between power and control circuit, like the one, and there is a high pulse circuit transformer used in radars. Then signal pulse transformer used in telecommunication and digital circuits. Advantage of pulse transformer: it provides electrical isolation between the control and the power circuits. Triggering of 2 or more devices from the same trigger source can be done. A small size, because at higher frequency the size of inductor and the capacitor reduces, and at high frequency operation is possible. And these are the input voltage pulses here, then the voltage pulse at the gate of the SCR. Here we have 2 conditions: when L by R0 is greater than the 10 times T, where T is the pulse generation frequency or time interval between 2 pulses generated at the rising and the falling edge, and therefore this second case here we see L by R0 less than T by 10. Next is the optocoupler MCT2E. MCT2E, here we see the pin diagram. It is 6 pin ICs with IR infrared LED connected between 1 and 2 pin, and there is a transistor, photosensitive transistor, connected between pin number 6 as base and 5 as collector and 4 as emitter. When the infrared LED is powered, the light from it falls on the transistor and it conducts. So this IC is used to provide isolation, electrical isolation between the 2 circuits. One part of the circuit is connected to the IR LED and the other to the phototransistor. The digital signal given to the IR LED will be reflected on the transistor, but there will be no hard electrical connection between the 2. So it is used in SMPS circuit, relay driving, industrial controls, digital control or logic inputs, and many electronic equipments make use of it. These are the features of MCT2E. References for further studies, more studies one can refer to. Thank you very much.